So, welcome to the teaching for the Vajra Yogini. The basis for to be able to receive this is actually having received an Anuttara Yoga initiation prior, so whether it was Kala Chakra, Guhya Samaja, Yamantaka, Heruka, or such, because in that initiation you transformed your five aggregates, or let's say, you readdress them with a more enlightened attitude. And so therefore, that allows you to then see yourself as a deity. Or if we follow yesterday's commentary, that it's like you have a new birth, or you have a more real birth certificate. And I think that it's interesting that the words we use, it's sort of what they invoke, because, like they say, we should abandon our mundane identification. So when you think, well, how do I'm not me, or something, and it's sort of, it seems so strange. But it's like if you were, you grew up and you have this birth certificate that says, you're an American or from France or from Singapore or something like that. You think, oh yes, that's who I am. And then one day someone comes to you and says, no, I'm really sorry, this is an error. This is your real birth certificate. And you go, oh, and then let's say if it's with a really wonderful country that has all sorts of benefits, like you have free education and healthcare, then you go, oh wow, this is so good, I have access to all these things now. This is my real birth certificate. The other one was an error, and you have that sort of thrill, that excitement. Well, that's what we should try to do with our Tantra, that yes, in the past we identified with being, from such and such a country and such a part of the country, and with maybe I'm a man or I'm a woman or something, and we sort of like put the emphasis of that. And then someone comes to you one day and says, no, I'm really sorry, this is the one that was an error. And you go, oh, and you have this shift of identification and such. So that's what getting an Anuttara Yoga initiation is that you are introduced to your Dharmakaya, your clear light state of consciousness, your most profound nature. And that's your real place of where you gave birth from. And so, it's a good example, because, let's say, like, who were your mother and father? Well, in this case, your consciousness from previous rebirths has been the birth of who you are in every rebirth. And so the mother and father you picked for this rebirth, to some extent, your consciousness, the karma you accumulated in previous rebirths, drew you to that set of parents. So it is, I think it's an appropriate sort of a thing, because it gives good connotations. And it's really important to make your tantric practice real for yourself. Like, yeah, this is like, this works, it's not just some fantasy from who I am or what I'm doing. Really, it's applicable. So that's important that you have that effect on yourself. And the idea, of course, that, the more important cognition is that, I'm in the playground of enlightenment. I and all sentient beings are on the same team, and the game we're playing is enlightenment. Now, that's exactly the same thing as saying this is the Pure Land. I and all sentient beings are the deity, and then the activities are enlightened activities. But in that, you look around and you say, well, how's this? Is this Pure Land? How is that the Pure Land? Whereas if you call it the playground, you go, yeah, okay, this is the playground. Like if you're playing basketball, like this is the playground, or whatever game you're playing. And suddenly you get this whole context. And then it's not just me, it's I and all sentient beings. We're on the same team, yeah. And what's the game we're playing? Well, we're trying to get more enlightened, and maybe I play the game a little better than some other people, or maybe I don't. But the point is, hey, we're on the same team. So if there's somebody who's not doing very well, I'll assist them, because they're on my team. They're on my football team or my soccer team or my baseball team. I want to make them a better player. See, it just clicks so nicely, the word. Whereas if it's a Pure Land, well, okay, it's a Pure Land. Okay, then what's that? I don't know. I just, like I say, sometimes words carry a whole bunch of connotation which are really beneficial for us. So we are in the playground of enlightenment. And what do? Well, you try to play well in the playground of enlightenment. And what's the game we're playing? Well, we're trying to be bodhisattvas. We're trying to be wise and compassionate. Wisdom and compassion, wisdom, method, and wisdom. Those are the things that we're playing. So anyway, so that just the words are really important, and they have a deeper impact on us. So anyway, we received an Anatara Yoga initiation yesterday. In that, then we did transform our 5 aggregates. And so Vajragini, strictly speaking, is not an initiation. She's a blessing. And if you remember, like, thinking of it in terms of, like, if I identify with Yamataka, what's that do for me? Well, it gives me more strength and capacity. Like, I have 34 arms. So, I mean, the sort of the joke is, I mean, you have to wash the dishes. Well, if you have 2 arms, it's fine. What happens if you have to wash the dishes and you have 4 arms? So it's that much easier. 2 up here and 2 down here, So you're more handy. Well, Yamataka is very handy. He has 34 arms, okay? So it gives you more capacity. And then he has, the 16, the different implements in this side, different implements in that side, gives him more capacity. And then he's standing on 16 legs, 8 to one side, 8 to the other side. I mean, if you tried to push somebody over that had 16 legs, it's pretty hard. It just doesn't fall over easily compared to someone with 2 legs. So that's his wisdom. He stands on 16 legs, understanding reality. He's got a very solid footing, okay? And then he's got all these arms for dealing with situations. And that's why Yamataka is considered a very good preliminary initiation and practice, because it gives you greater strength and capacity. And if you bring to mind that actually Yamataka represents my personal impermanence, gives you greater context, like, where do I put importance? It's all going to freaking disappear on me. Do I want to end up with some sort of garbage activity and attitude about my life, or do I want to have a good attitude and feel good about who I am, and when I finally die, feel okay about it all? Feel okay about myself. So that's the Yamataka, is sort of gives you greater capacity. And so practicing that initially for several years is quite good. Again, depends on your age and things like that, but it's a good practice to give you better capacity. Once you have better footing in your practice, I mean, Yamataka, 16 legs, okay, then you shift over and you're more into the practice. And so therefore you get more flexibility because you have the foundation. You don't fall over as easily. You don't stumble as easily, because you've got greater things. So then you shift over to the Heruka. And in this case, we're doing Vajragini. She's the inner essence of all the Heruka practices. So she is like blissful, energy. She's sort of like, I mean, if you have a Mazda car, she's zoom zoom. She's that. So that's that. And so what's that energy for me? Okay, so I've got my footing, I've got my stability. I'm doing my Yamataka practices in the Galupa practice. I mean, Sakya Vajra or whatever. I mean, different practices have things, but they all have one to remove obstacles. And then that's Yamataka practice or whatever. And then you go into the more energetic practices, which are sort of like the moving quickly and wonderfully. Again, I mean, maybe you have an idea of like a basketball player who just can move through the crowd and shoot the thing like that. So that's Heruka Vajragini, and just that much more flexibility. But because Tantra isn't just a massage of our attitude, you think about yesterday, that all of the teachings of the graduated path are incredibly beneficial. In fact, they are the foundation of your Tantra. But they are a massage, like change your attitude, try to cognize sentient beings as that they're all just wanting to be happy, and some of them do it well, and some of them don't. And so did that, or there's your mind training techniques, or just like I have a precious human rebirth. I won the lottery ticket of a good rebirth, and wow, how would I feel if I won $100,000? I feel pretty stoked about that. It's like, wow, yeah, I can do some stuff. I can pay off some debts and this and that. Well, take that feeling of like if you'd won the lottery, but then turn it into, hey, I got a perfect human rebirth. I got a rebirth where I met a really good spiritual practice, and not only just sort of like faith only spiritual practice, something that really I can do something, and it's based on consciousness and how to work with consciousness and how to work with my attitude and how to deal with my situations in my life. That's Buddhism. Buddhism's got great psychology, great philosophy, great practice. So anyway, that's the excitement. Like I wake up in the morning and I have potentiality. like if I woke up in the morning with suddenly $100,000 in my bank account, I'd have like, wow, I can do some stuff. So instead of that, I wake up and I have a precious human rebirth. I can do something. I can get myself more enlightened. That's exciting. Like I get a thrill for that. Every morning we should wake up with some sort of like enthusiasm about our life. Precious human rebirth. That's the teaching graduated path. But you can put it in a term that works for us. So I think, if you use your imagination about what it would be like to win a lottery, then you might get some feelings that you can say, then I'll apply that to my life. I have potentiality. I'm not pathetic. I'm not useless. I didn't win anything. I won something. Anyway, that's that. Then, of course, the impermanence. My possessions are impermanent. My relationships are impermanent. My body's impermanent. But that's to stop you overemphasizing them or exaggerating them. But we're bodhisattvas, so we do something with them. We practice generosity or whatever with our possessions. We are helpful in our relationships. We do something good with our body. So at the end of your life, you're lying there and you're dying, you can say, hey body, we did a good job. I did my 100,000 prostrations, John. Like that. So, hey body, you did it, Okay, whatever. Not that we have to do 100,000 prostrations, but if you've done them, then you can say, hey body, you did a good job. I purified some pretty heavy karma. Anyway, that's that. And then there's refuge. Refuge is inspiration. I mean, the Buddha can't do it for you, but the Buddha walked the path and showed us the technique. So that's great, And one thing that I think that I really like about Buddha Shakyamuni is that he took 3 aeons to become enlightened. So if you think about that in terms of like the rebirths he took, because each rebirth would be like, 50, 60, 70 years, whatever, whatever type of rebirth he took, is that chances are he went through all sorts of really interesting experiences. He had a lot of different rebirths. And so when I look at me as a practitioner, he possibly had a rebirth that was similar to mine. And so therefore he understands me. So when I think of Buddha Shakyamuni and you sort of, okay, you have a statue in front of you and that, you don't just look at that, you look at like all the continuity of thousands of rebirths. And in all those rebirths, sometimes he got married, sometimes he got divorced, sometimes he had cancer, sometimes he didn't have cancer, sometimes he was rich, sometimes he was poor, sometimes he was a yogi, all of those possibilities, whoever you are, because Buddha Shakyamuni had all of those rebirths, he most likely had one that was similar to you. And they say when you become enlightened, you can remember spontaneously all your previous rebirths. It's sort of like immediately available to your consciousness. And so therefore, when I look at Buddha Shakyamuni, I don't think that he doesn't cognize me or doesn't understand me. He's had rebirths similar to mine, so completely empathizes. Like, really, I know where you're coming from. I've been there. I've done that. And I did good things with myself. So when I think of the Buddha, and Buddha, enlightenment isn't some dead state of consciousness. It's a energetic state of consciousness. With all of those previous accumulated karmas. Even if you just took Buddha Shakyamuni, of 2,500 years ago, unbelievable being, crown prince, really intelligent, handsome, athletic, then, has an incredible life, and everything. And then in there suddenly says, this isn't so meaningful for me, Yes, I have this incredible queen, and I now have a baby son, and I'm going to become the king of this thing. But like all I've had is this privileged life, a silver spoon in my mouth the whole frigging time. Who am I? What's important to me? And so therefore he gets really distressed by that. He has the 4 visions of, the illness and death and old age, and finally the meditator. And he goes like, what the hell's the meaning of my life, Because these things sort of like slapped him in the face, Because his dad tried to hide it from him, remember? If you know the story, his dad tried to protect him and said, I want you to become the ruler of India. I don't want you to become a sage. And in one way, Daddy did exactly the opposite. He set the poor kid up to have this incredible silver spoon life and suddenly say, well, is it really that's the meaning of life, just being filthy rich and having all the women I want, and I have a beautiful wife, and and I'm gonna have all this power, So then he said, no, this isn't working for me. He's 28 years old, and he says, I'm out of here. And he didn't run away from his life. he felt burdened. And he says, I'm going to be this very powerful individual, and I don't have a context other than just I like, I've had a good life. So he went, I want meaning in my life. So he ran away from the palace, took off all of his jewels and everything, put on rags, and then went off and spent 6 years meditating. He got teachings from some Hindu masters of the time. So he got educated about how to meditate, and he was already really intelligent. And again, it's so good to study these things a little bit, just because it gives you enthusiasm about your life. So he went to one teacher and he learned how to meditate, and he was pretty good at it because he was really intelligent. And then that guru sat there and says, I have a crown prince as one of my students, and he's pretty into it, He says, hey, crown prince, you want to be my chief student because it'll make me famous, I have a crown prince from the Sakya clan as one of my students, And Buddha said, been there, done that. No, sorry, and he left. He said, because I got what I wanted from you, how to meditate, but I don't want to be put in a position of power and authority and that. I want a meaningful life. So again, didn't work for him. So he went off and he got another guru who gave him philosophy, the meaning of like things are impermanent, whatever the philosophy he was into. And he got that, and that guy did the same thing. He said, I have the Sakya crown prince. He's my student. I'm pretty famous. British said, hey, baby, no, I'm out of here. Disappeared, And then he went off to the, river beside Buddha Gaya, and he sat there for 6 years, and he, starved himself to death because, you had to stress yourself to get enlightened. At that point, that was the idea. Like what you had to do was you took consciousness and you stressed it whilst you prayed to the deity. But by stressing yourself, there's something called the 5 fires. So you build a fire in the 4 directions that's fairly close to you, so it makes you hot. And then the 5th fire is the sun in the sky. And you sit there and it's torture. But you're sitting there and you're praying to Indra or Vishnu or Shiva or whoever happens to be the deity, and your mind is on that. And so that's more powerful than these torture that you're going through. So you pressure cook yourself. So they end up having then finally the vision of Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, or whoever, and then they give you a blessing. That was the style of practice they had, then. And I'm not sure he was doing exactly that, but he was into meditation and looking deeper in his consciousness and looking for the meaning of life. It's who am I? What's going on? And he's looking back and he's saying, I have a very angry wife and child behind me, and I've got a really upset daddy because I'm not doing what he wanted to do. I better get my act together. I better produce something or else I'm just basically a phony. So it's very interesting to look at it that way, not some sort of like mystical thing, but this guy, where's he coming from? That's refuge. That's what inspires us, is that he really put the time in. And then the most incredible thing is that his understanding of reality is quantum mechanics and stuff like that. He wasn't stupid. And there's no electronic microscopes or anything, but in India, they did understand atoms, and so, the most basic Buddhist philosophy, or some Satantric or Vipassika, is that everything is just vibrating atoms. They had that understanding 2,500 years ago. God, they were intelligent, Buddha, they're intelligent, But anyway, not just that, then he said, no, that's not, atoms aren't the final thing. It's all phenomena are open, empty of self-existence. Yes, there's a play of continuity. But, again, whether, is it a particle or is it a wave, and it depends how you're looking at it, how you're seeing it. But Buddha talked about that. Wow, we're so lucky that we have a philosophy that doesn't have just faith, it has intelligence. So lucky. That's refuge, that's sort of inspiration, like, hey. And then we have all the teachings. It's just basically really good psychology. I know psychologists that tell me when they study Buddhism, they say, Buddhism is just clinical psychology. It's really intelligent. How to work with your attitude and stuff like that. And then from there, anyway, then you go into karma. We'll talk about that over the weekend. The nature of the mind is the subject for the weekend teachings, and I'll post the link for people if they want to attend by Zoom. Anyway, so all of that is the basis for our tantric practice, and all of that is a massage for our attitude, like we working on ourselves and changing our perspective and things like that, in very realistic ways. But then tantra is this acupuncture needle. So rather than just massaging our attitude and trying to be that we're more flexible because everything is impermanent, everything will change. So you massage your old attitude, which is so brittle and fragile, and like I can't have anything change because it is going to freak me out. No, okay, everything's going to change. Okay, so you massage your attitude. But then, so you have that, but then you move into your nervous system, and that's where like the acupuncture needle, this is an acupuncture needle, will stimulate your kidneys or your liver or whatever. I mean, if you study a little bit, it's really interesting, incredible power, the power of just touching a nerve and doing that. Well, that's what Tantra is, it's that. But in this case, we're working on the foundation of our consciousness, the roadways of our consciousness, the nerve channels, the chakras and nerves in your body, but it's just nerve channels. And you're learning how to touch those with points of meditation that then stimulate things and open things up. So then you have, all of the, you have the shift of attitude, which is being the deity, the new birth certificate. And then you shift over, and now you have techniques to go and really stimulate some powerful change in yourself, like working off the nervous system and such. And not just on a like just, okay, I've stimulated my heart chakra, I've stimulated my abdomen, and I can have some psychic heat or something like that. But all of that is to open up the central channel that you can have put your consciousness together with the energy within your nerve channels. And there's an incredible amount of power in that. But that's the, you could say, the doorway. Your psychic heat meditations does that. But what you really want then is that you're able to dwell in that conscious experience to go to finer levels of consciousness. That's where you go coarse, subtle, or very subtle, or down to clear light consciousness and such. All of that is available to you because you've got the acupuncture point on a nerve channel that gives you, your mind can go into the nerve energy and then become more focused and more refined, more subtle. And then you can open up consciousness in incredible ways, and you can arrive at your soul, your Buddha nature, whatever. That's the practice of Tantra. That's Vajrayogini. So Yamantaka clears away the issues and problems, gives you better capacity. 16 legs to stand on, 34 arms to work with situations. That's what Yamantaka is so good, and a protection wheel, all of those things. Very, very beneficial meditations. But then you shift to her, and look at her, she's just in ecstasy. I mean, if you really get into it, I mean, she's got a skull cup of nectar, and she's got it up in space, and she's dribbling it in her mouth, and she's just, and she's got her tongue out a little bit, and she's just like, thinking her whole body is, tingling like that. And I mean, her breasts are perky, and I mean, it's an imagination, but the thing is, it's stimulating you. But why? Because it's making your nervous system awake and alive. And it's not just that, because then you move into the body mandala of Vajrayogini, and it's more profound inside your nervous system. And then you move into the same meditations, whether it was with Yamantaka or with Vajrayogini, there is the more profound completion stage practices. Both of them work equally well, but just Vajrayogini is a little bit more like closer to that. I mean, Yamantaka has bliss energy, but if you think about like whether it's Heruka or in this case particularly Vajrayogini, she's just full of bliss, and that's helpful for you in your practice. That you become more flexible, more adaptable, and especially in your nervous system, because again, it's Tantra. It's not just a massage for your attitude. You're actually working in more powerful ways, like the acupuncture. So anyway, Vajrayogini is that. So that's what we're at the doorway of getting a Vajrayogini empowerment or Vajrayogini blessing. So in this case, you can see yourself as being you were a tantric bodhisattva, so you have a body of light energy. Okay, and then here I'll pull up the prayers that we're going to do. Okay, so because the initiation's really short, and I have you, you can't escape just right now. I'm going to go through some of the prayers that we do, just because it's good. I mean, you're going to say these things, so you might as well understand a bit about them. So the first is the request of you, a great joy, my teacher, protector holding the methods of enlightenment. I beseech you, please listen to me. Please bestow me the fair commitments. Bestow me the bodhicitta, so the refuges Buddha Dharma Sangha. That's pretty straightforward. But in this case, because it's Vajrayogini, it says, O glorious Vajradakini, queen of Dakinis, having the 5 wisdoms and 3 bodies, Vajradakini, protector of all, I prostrate. So there's this incredible energy in the universe. It's the feminine energy. I mean, Mother Nature, if you want to call it that. Okay. And it's embodied by women. And so it said that when you practice Tantra, especially for chauvinistic men, you have to shift your attitude and start to really appreciate women are special. Okay. That's part of the Tantric teaching. You cannot denigate or say bad things about women. But the same thing, women shouldn't say bad things about men. You know, that's, we should look at it as the dynamic of what helps us to become more enlightened. So anyway, so Vajrayogini, glorious Vajra Dakini, queen of Dakini. So she is the epitome of an enlightened lady. And I think for women, it's a great identification. Just to say, it's like, hey, inside of me is Vajrayogini, and I can help develop her and bring her to the surface by, you know, working with my attitude and such, but also, you know, touching on the nerve channels and things that sort of wake me up. Why? Because I'm a bodhisattva. I am interdependent completely with the universe around me. May I be of benefit? And I'm going to bring this very energetic form to play on that, because I'm in the playground of enlightenment. I am now Vajrayogini. I'm not so heavy duty as Yamantaka. I'm more dynamic and such. I'm bringing that energy into my body, and I'm playing the game of enlightenment because I and all sentient beings are on the same team. So it gives a very nice feeling, a very, like, give you a thrill, you know, like you get some sort of a thing. And it is as the 5 wisdoms, that's the 5 Buddha family wisdoms, and the 3 bodies, the body Dharmakaya, Sambhogaya, Nirmanakaya. Vajradakini, protector of all, I prostrate. So you, Vajrayogini, you're wonderful. Then we take Bodhisattva vows again, because again, there's context. Like, we're practicing Tantra. We're not just doing it for self-power or self-gratification. We're doing it because we are interdependent with the universe. We appreciate that. May I be of benefit, you know? And so, and I mean, even if you're, let's say, in a retreat, or you're just at home in your own little house and you're feeling like, oh, you know, I'm not so beneficial because I'm just sitting in my house and I don't do anything outside of my house. I just stay home and, you know, do little things in my house. No, you are interdependent with the universe. And so if you develop bodhicitta, may I be of benefit, you know, if you do that, you are affecting the world around you. So the good example for that is, like, a stick of incense doesn't have to have any doubts about itself. It just has to burn. And as it burns, it creates the perfume that makes the place smell nice. It doesn't have any doubts about what it has to do. And it will make the room smell nicer. Even if the room's got some bad things in it, it will slowly, you know, affect it. So we as practitioners just have to burn with bodhicitta. You know, may I bring myself and other sentient beings into enlightenment. May I bring my angry mind into enlightenment. May I bring my pathetic mind into enlightenment. May I bring my competitive mind into enlightenment. You know, that's the Bodhisattva path. It's not a rejection of it. It's going to bring those factors of yourself into enlightenment. So anyway, so the Bodhisattva vow is that context. It's not I'm running away from my samsara. I'm engaging it and bringing it into enlightenment. I'm in the playground of enlightenment. I'm playing the game of enlightenment. I and all sentient beings are on the same team. So the Bodhisattva, I take refuge in the 3 jewels. Well, that's Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. I openly confess all my downfalls. And that just means I'm open. Now, that's really interesting, okay? Because enlightenment isn't something like, you know, like I get to sneak into a room and I'm there and I'm in enlightenment. No, enlightenment is you becoming enlightened. So that means you and all the states of consciousness and all the previous activities that you've ever done are going to be revealed. It's rather uncomfortable. I don't want you to know that about me. You know, I'm embarrassed by that, you know. I mean, not this, you know, anyway, I don't know. But the thing is, so openly confess all downfalls. It just means when I did something that was inappropriate, I'm not going to hide it anymore, and I'm not going to exaggerate it, but I don't hide it anymore, and I don't want to repeat it. So if there is some faux pas that I did, something that was a little bit embarrassing, a little bit like inappropriate, by opening up and not hiding it, what you're really saying is, I don't want to repeat that, which is actually what's the purification. So we might be, I don't want to do that because I don't want anybody to see that about me. But hey, the Buddhas already can see it about you. You can't hide it, you know. I'm sorry, you know. So the thing is just, okay, get some calm, say, okay, I'm willing to open myself up. I openly confess. Now, confess is not really the right word. The actual Tibetan word is shakpa, which is just open up. It doesn't, confess is like, I'm bad, I'm really bad, or something like that, or, oh, look what I did. No, in Buddhism, because it's a state of consciousness, you don't create double negative with, I'm guilty because I did something bad. In Buddhism is, I'm able to open up, and I don't hide that anymore, and I don't want to repeat that. That's a whole different headspace compared to like, I'm a bad person because I did this and that and things. I don't want to repeat those things. I openly reveal myself, and I don't want to repeat those. I openly confess, or I openly reveal all my downfalls. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. That, I see somebody do something nice, I like that. That's rejoicing. So somebody lets somebody else open the door for you when you go into a store. They let you go first. That's nice. I like that. That's rejoicing, or whatever. You see somebody practicing generosity. You see somebody doing something helpful, and then you feel, that's nice. That's rejoicing. So I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. That means the good things, all the good stuff. I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas. I take refuge until my enlightenment, the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Well, what's nice is that actually, when you take 5 precepts as a layperson, whether it's not to kill, steal, lie, commit adultery, or take intoxicants, now you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of them as a layperson. But the point is, those are on your body. So when your body dies, those 5 precepts stop functioning. They no longer apply to you because they were taken on your body. But bodhicitta is on your heart, so to speak. It's on the stream of consciousness. And it's just, may I be beneficial? It's the nature of bodhicitta. So you can take bodhicitta all the way to enlightenment. You can't take 5 precepts all the way to enlightenment, but you can take the effect of having 5 precepts to enlightenment. So if you don't kill, well, you create that karma in this rebirth that you don't kill things as much as you can, Then in the next rebirth, you're going to have a natural quality of that. But you don't need a precept. You just have the quality because you cultivated the karma at this point. Or not to kill, not to steal, not to lie. So that can go to the next rebirth, but it's not a commitment. It's just the quality of who you are. But bodhicitta, and so we make a commitment now because we're saying, hey, I want to have better principles in my life. But when we do bodhicitta, it's on, I want the nature of who I am to be improved. And so it's actually an altruistic thing. It's moving in a positive direction. So in that way, bodhicitta does go from now all the way to enlightenment. So I take heart to the enlightenment of the Buddhas. I take refuge until my enlightenment, until I'm fully enlightened, Buddha Dharma Sangha, to best fulfill the purpose of myself and others. So that's again bodhisattva attitude. It's like the purpose of myself. That's the meaning of my life. When I wake up in the morning, what's it all about? Just go to the bathroom and get my cup of coffee. Yes, you can do those things, but maybe it's because, hey, I like to wake up and be more chirpy, and then I'm going to go and do my meditations. And why? Because, hey, I have some meaning in my life. I want to be in touch with myself. I want to be more grounded. I'd like to be of more benefit. And that's fulfill myself and then help others. Again, we don't evangelize. We just live our path. That's the best full purpose of myself and others. I generate the motive of bodhicitta. Having generated the motive for supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests. Listen, I love that prayer, I invite all sentient beings my guest. I shall treat them most pleasing with enlightened conduct, and I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all. It's just very nice things to say, you know what I mean? Yes, there are complicated sentient beings out there. It doesn't mean I have to be the victim of anybody, but the thing is that, if I can help you, I will, but if I can't help you because you're just too close-minded, well, at least I don't hate you or I don't ignore you. I just I'm careful around you, Anyway, so that's the invite all sentient beings my guest. Then we go to tantric precepts. So now we're talking about, states of, we're a state of being as a Vajra as a bodhisattva. And then the tantric precept is, there's a big universe out there. There's, all sorts of astral beings and spiritual beings and such like that. So the first thing you say, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay attention to me. So you're just saying I completely open up. So, if there happens to be a Buddha in my neighborhood, maybe there's an enlightened woman down the street, well, I'm going to put out that energy into the universe as saying, hey, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay attention to me. May I, and you say your name, you should say, it's me. From this time onwards, until I reach the heart of enlightenment, generate the sacred, peerless bodhicitta. This is who I am to the universe around me. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas recognize, I'm telling you who I am. Just as the protectors of the 3 times did to ensure their enlightenment. And that's a really nice prayer, because all the previously enlightened beings, whether it's Tilopa, Naropa, Padmasambhava, Milarepa, all of them, they took to heart bodhicitta, and that guaranteed that they became enlightened. So just as all the Buddhas of the past, of the 3 times, ensured their enlightenment, okay, I take that too. I take bodhicitta, just like them. So this gives you a nice sense of camaraderie. I shall keep pure. Okay, then again, depends on the prayer you say. This is, you can do the 5 Buddha families and each of their commitments. In this case, we abbreviated just a little bit. It's good to study if you want to, the 5 Buddha family commitments. Anyway, but as they say, we're just focusing on sort of the core things. So I keep the pure commitments of the 5 Buddha families. Okay, then you say 2 lines or 3 lines. I shall free those who have not been freed. I shall liberate those who have not been liberated. I'll give breath to those without breath. Now those 3 lines are really special. I shall free those who have not been freed. Now there's in the commentary says, for example, I will free those who have not been freed, refers to all the sentient beings in the 3 lower realms. Those that are bound by rather heavy karma, ghosts, hell beings, and animals. So I shall free those who have not been freed. I shall liberate those who have not been liberated, refers to the 3 upper realms, humans, gods, and demigods. I shall liberate those. I shall give breath to those without breath. And so it's just, I will give life energy. I will give breath to those without breath. I shall lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow. So these are beautiful words. And I mean, think about it. On the average day, do you ever say beautiful things? You get up in the morning and say, where's my coffee? And get out of the bathroom and who used up all the toilet paper? And, or something like that. I mean, those are the normal things. Or you're driving to work and you see that person got in my way. Why is the traffic so bad? Those are our normal sort of thoughts and feelings we have generally. I mean, I'm just generalizing. But here we've got this incredible, beautiful environment. We're at the doorway of a mandala to receive initiation, and we get to say something that's beautiful that gives us a context for our life. I'm in the playground of enlightenment. I'm going to become Vajra Yogini, or I'm going to bring her energy into my body, whether I'm a man or a woman. I'm going to bring her blissful energy, her spunky energy that she has. I'm going to bring that into my body. And that's it. I'm in the playground of enlightenment. I've got her energy in me. I and all sentient beings are on the same team. So some sentient beings just don't see that they're Vajra Yogini or that they're blissful. Well, I'll try to help them to be that way a little bit. Like if you're on a team, let's say you're on a bowling team, and someone on your team's not doing very well, you try to help them how to stand, how to hold the ball, how to walk, and how to let it go. You try to help them, and then if they do a thing and they get a strike, you go, wow, and they go, yeah, like that. That's sort of what enlightenment is. You try to help somebody to have a good headspace. That's what the being on the same team with all sentient beings. And some sentient beings just don't have much capacity, but we'll try to help them. That's the thing. So I give breath to those with the breath. I lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow. So there's those prayers. Again, now if you're thinking that, Jampa, I came for the initiation of Vajra Yogini. Why are you doing all of this? Because it's the context of our practice, baby. I'm sorry, if you got all the energy of Vajra Yogini and you didn't have context, it's like suddenly you got a Maserati with a super big engine and stuff, and you really don't know how to drive the sucker. And so you're going to go careening off the road. In fact, there's an example that when young guys get their first really big motorcycle, let's say they get a Kawasaki 1000, which you can just haul ass anywhere you want, inevitably in the first 15 minutes they kill themselves. There's a statistic on that, like because they're into the power, like wow, and then often they're roaring down the road like that, or whatever. Anyway, so that's not having context. So it's great to have that power and ability. And if you really were a good driver, you can go through the corners and you can bank and curve and you can accelerate and you can slow it down. You can have some fun on your motorcycle, but it's because you have context. It's not just for the power trip. So practicing Vajra Yogini is that. She's a very powerful vehicle, really wonderful vehicle. She's a blissful lady. She's perky. She's spunky, and I'm going to bring her into my life, So that's then So anyway, that's important. So, and then there's final little prayers we say, which is for the mother tantra, because we've got this, Maserati of a vehicle that's going to be really spunky and lively, zoom, zoom, whatever, So we say these prayers, say, to the Buddhas and the Bodhis, to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, to all the three vehicles, the secret mantra, to the Dakinis and Dakas, the heroes and powerful goddesses, the Bodhisattva, and especially my spiritual teacher, I always go for refuge. I ask you, Heruka and others, that's Heruka and Vajragini, Dakas, Yoginis, Vairocana, and others, infinite Buddhas, to think of me. Through pure conduct, I shall protect the 21 vows of the Mother Tantra from now until enlightenment. Now, I've gotten both the Sakyapa full lineage of Heruka and Vajragini. I also have the Gelupa full lineage of Heruka Vajragini. And so something that's really important is, if you do look at the tantric precepts, and this comes primarily from the Sakya side, which is really good, if you don't have the capacity to maintain or to do a particular level of practice in the tantras, you don't have that commitment until you have the capacity. So the simplest version of that is climaxing. They say you shouldn't climax, okay? You shouldn't have an orgasm, okay? That's in the tantric precepts. Why? Because you want to maintain the energy in your body that makes you blissful. You don't want to explode and it's just sort of and you're exhausted afterwards, okay? That's a tantra. Now, again, you might think, oh my God, I've never heard of this. But no, that's real tantra, that you cultivating hormonal secretions, you're cultivating the energy in your nervous system, you're doing yoga, you're doing the true core, you're making your nervous system really flexible and energetic and such like that. And part of that is in all this energy. And so cultivating this blissful energy within you is important. But in taking what the 22 precepts of, or 22 vows of Mother Tantra, one of them says, okay, don't climax. Well, if you don't have the capacity, you don't have the precept yet. Now, if you do get that capacity, then you start having that precept. So just for those of you that are really into it, and then you start reading the 22 things of Mother Tantra, and you go, oh my God, I shouldn't have sex anymore because I keep orgasming, or whatever. I mean, I'm sorry if it sounds a bit gross for you, but the thing is, no, okay? No, it's until you have the capacity at that level of yoga, you don't have the precept. Now, something interesting, and this is a little off topic, but not, that why do we practice these very energetic forms of like Vajrayogini or Heruka or even Yamantaka? They're very virile, very energetic. Why? Because that means that all your hormonal secretions are working. Your endorphins and whatever else, all the other ones, thing like that. So when you have, like, if you look at somebody who's like 22 years old, and they're just full of full of what would be creating the human race. Like that's what it's going to be about. But the thing is, in this case, we're not just creating human race, we're becoming more enlightened. So that energy in your body, okay, so even if you're single, practicing Tantra does that for you. So if you think, oh gee, I don't have a relationship, I'm not with anybody, I'm feeling like my body's getting really old, and I feel that now, my age. But the thing is, you identify with these deities, and it's like you perk your system, you perk it up a little bit, you make yourself feel a little bit more energetic, a little bit more spunky, lively, and such like that. And physically, it means your hormones are all being properly stimulated, not negatively. It's not about thinking about having sex, it's about being energetic and turned on, and you're a bodhisattva. You've got good energy for the universe around you. So that's what it's about that. So the Mother Tantra, as particularly with all these precepts, is about that you have a energetic nervous system. And then there was some interesting research done in the Scandinavian countries that said that couples that are still having sex in their 70s and 80s tend to be more healthy than the ones that don't. So then you might think, oh, I've got to have a relationship, or, gee, I'm getting old and it doesn't happen anymore, or whatever. No, that's not the point. In Tantra, we identify with being Yamantaka with a big erection, or we identify with being Heruka or Vajrayogini, with a very energetic body. You don't need to have a partner. You can do that to yourself, your own imagination, but it's got context. you are a bodhisattva. You're making the world a more beautiful place. You have good energy. You most likely live a long life. And one of the things they say with practicing, especially the body mandala practices of Heruka Vajrayogini, is that you should be a lot more healthy. I mean, they say that like your hair won't turn white, and I mean, your skin won't get, old if you practice well Tantra. I mean, this is some of the things they say in it, but, I mean, I guess it didn't practice very well, did I? But anyway, so why? Because your hormones are all being stimulated. Okay, so anyway, again, we don't want to overly focus on that, but I'm just talking about it because here you're going to say this particular prayer. I take the 22 precepts of Mother Tantra, and then you go, whoa, okay, I can't do some of those things. Well, no, until you have the ability, you don't have the precept. 90% of the precepts that we have are about being a nice person, being beneficial in the universe around you, and that you're into practicing inner life, inner yoga, inner transformation. That's the real meaning of all of the precepts. So there's the precepts that we're going to do. So that is the preliminary for receiving the initiation. So it gives you a bit of context for who you are, what you're doing. Okay, so now we will start the initiation. So Christopher should sit down in his chair and pay attention. Okay, thank you, Christopher. I can see them, they're moving around. You can't escape. And of course, you turn your camera off and then I can't say those things. Okay, so anyway, so we are going to now receive the initiation. I gave you some interesting commentary. Now, in this case, you should see yourself as being, in this first you start off with just being a white Tantric Bodhisattva. So you have a body of white energy. The inside of your body is hollow. There's no internal organs or something. You have like it's your energy body, your astral body or whatever. And you are a Bodhisattva. You have good energy. You're like a stick of incense and perfume. You make a nice fragrance around you. Okay? And so with that then, we will take, here we will take refuge 3 times, just the standard refuge prayer, not the Namo Guru Besa. And then you'll offer the short mandala, please. So we'll do that. But you are in the mandala of Vajrayogini. You can see in front of you is we'll just know that there's this divine red woman, like in the image behind me, and she's very ecstatic. And you're saying, hey, Vajrayogini, I'd like you to come in my nervous system. I'd like you to give me life. I'd like you to give me all the blessings that you can. With that thought, then, please recite the refuge and 3 times and the mandala once.
I take refuge until I awaken in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, may I attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. This ground anointed with perfume, flowers strewn Mount Meru, for land, sun, and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and offered to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land.
Yidam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamni Tayami. So for those of you that have a blindfold, feel that you put it on. If you don't have one, just imagine you have a blindfold on. Om Chatsu Banda Vara Mai Om Chatsu Banda Vara Ma Naya Hum Om Kambira Hum. Okay, feel that from Vajrayogini, it's in, so, okay, you're in your imagination. Be in a sort of spacious place of the sky, so to speak. You have an ability to fly now. Okay, you have this dynamic body. Around you is many Dakinis, and they're all sort of flittering hither and there. So allow your imagination to be very, lighthearted and happy and energetic, And in the very middle, on top of in the great, in the double stack reality source, again, if you don't know what it means, just sort of like it's a big pillar, okay, which is red color. And inside of that is a vibrant Vajrayogini, just full of energy and bliss and such like that. And we're all around her. She's the queen of the Dakinis. So you have that sense about around it, okay? And so then feel Om Ganda Roy Hom Pe, Om Ganda Roy Hom Pe. Infinite forms of wrathful Dakinis radiate with the Cinder Mandala, destroying all problems for you to be able to receive the initiation. Om Ganda Roy Hom Pe. So feel around you, all the Dakinis are only good energy. Feel that you have bliss. Then feel a little Vajrayogini comes from the big Vajrayogini that's in front of you. She comes out, she holds your left hand. And she's red in color, she's very sweet. She whispers in your ear, "Oh child, who are you and what do you seek?" And then you repeat after me, I am a fortunate being.
I am a fortunate being.
I seek great bliss.
I seek great bliss.
And then the little Dakini in your ear says, "And what will you do with this?" Okay, you repeat, I am going to use it for becoming enlightened.
I'm going to use it for becoming enlightened.
Okay, so now focus on yourself. You're floating in the space around the beautiful, incredible Vajrayogini. A little Dakini is holding your left hand. Okay, and in your heart you say, I am interdependent with the universe. That's the real nature of reality. May I be of benefit. And then feel a little moon cushion appears in your heart of your body. So floating at the level of your heart in the center of your chest, a little moon cushion, which is the quality of what's called your relative bodhicitta, the nature of benefit. And then because you understand that you are completely empty of any self-existence, you are completely open in a universe of interdependence, that wisdom then becomes a white Vajra standing on top of that moon cushion in your heart. So again, feel the little Dakinis holding your left hand. And in your body of light energy, you have a moon and little white moon and white Vajra standing in your heart, which is your relative and ultimate bodhicitta. Feel it become stabilized. Om Sarva Yoga Chitta Upatayami. Om Surati Samaya Stamho Siddhi Vajra Yatha Sukham. Okay, now if you're familiar with the mandala Vajrayogini, it's like the Star of David lying horizontal, but it's a huge pillar, it's a huge standing. And so the lower point goes all the way down to what's called the beginning, or the endless samsara, but it gets bigger and bigger. And inside of that, floating inside of that, is Vajrayogini on a lotus and a sun cushion and stuff. So feel that you are pulled inside of that, and it's spacious. Ja hum bam ho. Feel you're pulled inside, and now you're floating in front of Vajrayogini. You have, again, the body of light energy, the little Dakini is holding your left hand. Okay, now in front of Vajrayogini, you are going to then take your Bodhisattva vows, okay? So please repeat after me. Okay, now you feel that you're saying this to Vajrayogini. She's in front of you. You were thrilled to be in front of her. She has this incredible blissful energy that you can perceive. She's looking at you. O you of great joy, my teacher.
O you of great joy, my teacher.
Protector holding the methods of enlightenment.
Protector holding the methods of enlightenment.
I beseech you, please listen to me.
I beseech you, please listen to me.
Bestow me the pure commitments.
Bestow me the pure commitments.
Bestow me bodhicitta.
Bestow me the bodhicitta.
I request the three refuges.
I request the three refuges.
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
O Protector, I ask you to bring me.
O Protector, I ask you to bring me
To the supreme city of great liberation.
to the supreme city of great liberation.
O glorious Vajra Dakini,
O glorious Vajrayogini,
Queen of Dakinis,
Queen of Dakinis,
having the 5 wisdoms and 3 bodies.
having 5 wisdoms and 3 bodies.
Vajra Dakini, to you I prostrate.
Vajrayogini, to you I prostrate.
Then take Bodhisattva vows. I take refuge in the three jewels.
I take refuge in the three jewels.
I openly confess all my downfalls.
I openly confess all my downfalls.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take refuge until my enlightenment
I take refuge until my enlightenment.
in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha,
In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
to best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
To best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
I generated a motive of bodhicitta,
I generate a motive of bodhicitta.
having generated a motive for supreme enlightenment.
I generate a motive for supreme enlightenment.
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I shall treat them pleasingly,
I shall treat them pleasingly,
with enlightened conduct,
with enlightened conduct,
and attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
and attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
I shall treat them pleasingly,
I shall treat them pleasingly,
with enlightened conduct,
with enlightened conduct,
attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
and attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
Okay, now you're going to take the tantric precepts. So again, to Vajragini, you're saying these things. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
Vajrayogini,
Vajrayogini,
please listen to me.
please listen to me.
May I, from this time onwards,
From this time onwards,
until I reach the heart of enlightenment,
until I reach the heart of enlightenment,
generate a sacred peerless bodhicitta,
generate a sacred peerless bodhicitta,
just as the protectors of the three times did,
just as the protectors of the three times did,
to ensure their enlightenment.
to ensure their enlightenment.
I shall keep the pure commitments
I shall keep the pure
of
commitments
the five Buddha families.
of the five Buddha families.
I shall free those who have not been freed,
I shall free those who have not been freed,
liberate those who have not been liberated.
liberate those who have not been liberated.
I'll give breath to those without breath,
I'll give breath to those without breath,
and lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow.
and lead all sentient beings to the state beyond sorrow.
All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
Vajrayogini,
Vajrayogini,
please listen to me.
please listen to me.
May I,
May I join my heart.
from this time onwards,
From this time onwards,
till I reach the heart of enlightenment,
until I reach the heart of enlightenment,
generate a sacred peerless bodhicitta,
generate a sacred peerless bodhicitta,
just as the protectors of the three times did,
just as the protectors of the three times did,
to ensure their enlightenment.
to ensure their enlightenment.
I shall keep the pure commitments
I shall keep the pure
of
commitments
the five Buddha families.
of the five Buddha families.
I shall free those who have not been freed,
I shall free those who have not been freed,
liberate those who have not been liberated.
liberate those who have not been liberated.
I shall give breath to those without breath,
I shall give breath to those without breath,
and lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow.
and lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow.
And lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow.
And lead all sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow.
Feel you renewed your tantric precepts. Okay, now you're going to do these special commitments of the Mother Tantra to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha,
To the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha,
and to the three vehicles,
and to the three vehicles,
to the secret mantra yoga,
to the secret mantra
to
yoga,
dakinis and dakas,
to the kings and dakas,
heroines and powerful goddesses,
heroines and powerful goddesses,
to the bodhisattvas,
to the bodhisattvas,
and especially my spiritual teacher.
and especially my spiritual teacher.
I always go for refuge.
I always go for refuge.
I ask you, Haruka
I ask you, Haruka,
and Vajrayogini,
Vajrayogini,
Daka and Dakinis,
Dakinis,
Vairochana and others,
Vairochana, and others,
infinite bodhisattvas,
infinite bodhisattvas,
think of me.
think of me
Through my pure conduct,
through my pure conduct.
I shall protect well the 22 vows
I shall protect well the 22
of
vows
Mother Tantra
of Mother Tantra,
from now until enlightenment.
from now until enlightenment.
Feel that Vajrayogini is very happy with you. She looks at you with great happiness and joy. Okay, so now then. Okay, so now you're going to do what's called the visualizations of the inner Vajrayogini. Okay, so feel then, again, please just go in keep in your imagination. You don't need to just follow what's being said. You are in front of a beautiful, incredible, glorious Vajrayogini. You're inside of her double stack reality source. You are dancing in the space around that. Light from the heart of the Guru, non-different from the main deity, strikes your body, purifying all negative imprints. Your body is completely pure. You evaporate, just become consciousness with no form. From within that then comes the syllable AA, like two slashes in sky, becomes a double-stacked reality source. And from Ah comes a moon cushion with a light slate of red. And on top of that comes your mind, which is the syllable Vam. So you're in front of the Vajra queen. You've got your own little mandala. It's a double stack reality source. You're floating in, or that your conscious is just a syllable Vam. And standing around that going counterclockwise is the syllables Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Da Kiniye, Vajramaniye, Vajravarojaniye, Hu Hu, Pe 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 Soha, all in a red color. Red light rays radiate from the mantra and they fill all the universe. So from your consciousness is a syllable bomb, and from that mantra, light just flashes throughout the universe. Like when you turn a light bulb in a room, automatically the light fills the room. Like that, you just automatically fill the universe with a red light. That light then comes back and absorbs, and you turn into Vajrayogini with one face and two arms, standing on a lotus and a sun disk, a red sun disk. Your right leg is stretched out and treads on the breast of Kalarati. Your left leg is a little bit bent, and on the back of the neck of Black Bhairava. That's basically Shiva and Parvati, rather mundane deities of normal desire. Your body is, your holy body is red. You have a radiant energy around your body, like there's fire flickering off all of the edge of your skin. You have one face and two arms and three eyes, and you're looking up at the pure land of the Dakinis. Your right hand holds a curved knife pointed downwards by your right hip, and your left hand is holding stretched up into the space with a skull cup full of nectar that you're dribbling into your mouth. You have a sense of ecstasy. On your left shoulder is a Kadvanga, which is just a shaft. A shaft represents your process of becoming enlightenment. And that is adorned with the Damaru, a bell, and the three banners. Your black hair goes down the back of your neck and down to your back to your buttocks. It's long and straight and gives you blissful feelings on your back. You're in the prime of your youth. Your breasts are full. Your nipples are hard. You have 5 skulls on your crown, which represents your 5 Buddha families. You have 50 little skulls like a necklace around your neck, which represents you completely control all your states of consciousness. You are naked with no shame whatsoever, radiant and blissful. You're adorned with the 5 mudras, which is like crown jewel, necklace, armlets, bracelets, and such like that. You're standing in the middle of a blazing fire, so all around your body is fire. And in your navel comes a little AA, which becomes a little inside of your body, which is hollow, comes a little double stack reality source. So it's like the horizontal Star of David with 4 little bliss swirls in the left and the right points of that Star of David. And then lower, and coming from those 5, or from the points, the 6 points of the Star of David, coming down to your pelvic floor is like the stem. So it's like a pillar. It's in the shape of a double stack reality source. It's floating it's in your navel. The lower point touches your pelvic floor. The upper point is just a little below your navel. Inside of that comes a syllable Ah, becomes a white moon cushion, and in the center of that is the syllable Bum. Okay, so you have that floating in your stomach. Okay, so please repeat after me. O precious teacher, grant me success in gaining the body, speech, and mind qualities, and all the activities of the Buddhas. Grant me the mundane and incredible powers, abilities. Whatever blessings I receive, please stabilize these. Okay, now I'm going to come around and give you the inner Vajrayogini. For those of you online, I'll do it when I've finished with the group here. So what it is okay, now what you're going to visualize, so we can do that first. So I have a little red bliss dot, a little red bliss spot. Okay, now I'm going to light this, which is fire, which is your tumo, your psychic heat, and I'm going to put it in your mouth. And when it goes in your mouth, you feel that's a little Vajrayogini that's like unbelievably powerful. She is just so energetic. She's like a super shot of electricity. And she's going to go inside your body, and she's just going to go ballistic, and all the sides running in your arms, your legs, your thighs, your knees, in your stomach. And she just vibrates back and forth like flashes of electricity, of red light. And it's all in this little aspect of being Vajrayogini. And then finally, she's going to arrive and go and settle in your abdomen inside of that little reality source that you did in your stomach. And she's going to sit there and be vibrant and full of good energy. So that's the visualization you want to do when I come around and give it to you, and I'll do you in line. Finally, even if you're in line, you can still visualize this. So please just please maintain that sense of what you're doing. Om Sarva Buddha Da Kini E Vajrayogini Okay Vajrayogini So Om Sarva Buddha Da Kini E Vajrayogini
Am I burning?
No, Om Sarva Buddha. Okay, again, here's the Om Sarva Buddha Da Kini E Vajrayogini So focus on the bliss inside your body. A little atomic Vajrayogini is dancing on all sides around you. Om Sarva Buddha Da So Om Sarva Buddha Om Sarva Buddha Da Kini Vajrayogini So those of you online, please focus. You're going to have this in your mouth. A little atomic Vajrayogini is going to dance throughout your body, giving you great bliss, and finally arrives in your abdomen. Om Sarva Buddha Da Kini Vajrayogini Om Sarva Buddha Da Kini Vajrayogini Okay, in your navel appears a little Vajrayogini. She's inside of the little reality source. She basically is, as described, on phase 2 arms, looking up at the Pure Land. And thus, she's red in color. She has she has fire around her body. She holds a cleaver and a skull cup. On her left shoulder, she has a little Kadvanga, which represents her partner. And her body is very energetic and blissful, and such like that. Feel that on that little Vajrayogini in your navel, on her navel, so she's a little tiny thing, like the size of maybe your baby finger, okay? On her navel appears a little red syllables, Om Bum, which is like an armor protecting her from negative energy. At her heart comes a blue Hum Yum, okay? So just feel that there's a band of blue light around her chest. Around her throat and mouth, Hrim Mum, white color band of protection. Around her forehead, a yellow Hrim Hrim. At the crown of her head, like a little cap on the top of her head, is a green Hum Hum. And on her left and right shoulder and on her left and right hip is a smoke-colored Pei Pei, which is then her protection. So she has red around her stomach, blue around her heart, white around her mouth and throat, yellow around her forehead, green on the crown of her head, and gray Pei Peis on her shoulders and on her hips that then put a protection down her arms and legs, okay? Okay, so now then, you have that, you are floating in the space in front of Vajrayogini. You're the big Vajrayogini. Inside of you is floating that little Vajrayogini full of this incredible blissful energy. Okay, then feel that the big Vajrayogini, from the heart of the big Vajrayogini in front of you, then feel that from the mantras in her heart comes out light energy and stuff, and the light invites all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions to come and rain upon you like rain on all the parts of your body. You feel that that energy is feminine energy, completely filling your body, making you very, very blissful. Okay. Then, continuing holding your meditation like that, then you feel that from your the place in your forehead, your third eye, there's well, let's say your central channel. It runs up to the crown of your head and runs down directly in front of your spine, straight like an arrow. A tube of an arrow down to your pelvic floor, okay, and it touches your genitals, so it hooks around to your genitals. So you have that central channel running from your third eye in your forehead to the crown, down in front of your spine to your pelvic floor, and then hooking into your genitals. At the place of your genitals, inside of that tube, which is the central channel, you have a white bliss swirl. So it's a little white dot that's spinning counterclockwise. Feel that it starts to slowly progress down to your pelvic floor, spinning inside of that central channel, starts to come up inside of your central channel to your navel, finally arriving at your heart, giving you very, very blissful feelings. And then from your forehead, there's a red bliss swirl. It just enters into the central channel at your forehead. It goes up to the crown, and then goes down inside of your body in front of the spine, coming down towards the white bliss swirl that's spinning in your heart, and finally arrives at your heart, spinning red, counterclockwise. Then the two start mixing together, the red and the white. They become the color pink, spinning inside of your central channel, inside of your heart. Feel they spin more and more fast, and then finally just everything starts to evaporate, everything starts to disappear, and you're just clear light consciousness. Open like the space of the sky. Like if your consciousness was at 30,000 feet, open place, in the clear sky, daytime. And then you suddenly reappear as being Vajrayogini, one face, two arms. So you're back, you just manifest again, you're inside the mandala of Vajrayogini. You have one face, two arms, you're very blissful, your chest is very energetic, you have your skull cup in your right hand, left hand, you're drinking nectar, your right hand is stretched down, giving you a nice blissful feeling. And then feel that on you appears the armor, on your big body as Vajrayogini appears the armor. Om du dura guya samaya om bam hrim hum hum pe pe. Okay, so at your navel, om bam, at your heart, hom yum, at your mouth, hrim mum, at your forehead, hrim hrim, at the crown, hum hum, and all your shoulders and hips are pe pe. You have armor that protects you from negative energy coming inside. I'm going to come around and touch you all in the crown of your head, doing a double Vajra to make sure everything gets locked in. Om Tista Vajra, Om 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 Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om Pe 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 So Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om Pe 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 So Om 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 Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om Pe 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 So Om 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 Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om So Om 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 Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om Pe 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 So Om 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 Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om Pe 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 So Om 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 Sakra Buddha Dakini, Vajravani, Vajravirajani, Om Pe 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 So for those of you online, Om Sarvabhuta Dakini Vajravani Vajravirashani Om Pe Soha Tishta Vajra Pratishta Vajra Ho Om Prati Grihanasam Imam Sattva Mahabala. Okay, so now if you have your blindfold on, you take one of the sides, okay, and you're going to pull it off, and you're going to feel, you can look at Vajrayogini directly in front of you and feel great bliss. Om Vajra Neta, Om Vajra Neta, Apahara, Pe, Lam, Pri, He Vajra, Pasha, pull the string away. And then feel like in your imagination, Vajrayogini in all her glory is before you, and you can see that she's inside, that you are inside of her double stack reality source with the bliss squirrels in the four corners, etc. If you're not familiar with the visualization, just feel you're inside this beautiful red colored double stack reality source. Okay, with that then, please offer mandala to Vajrayogini to be able to receive the next initiation, which is the vase initiation.
This round anointed with perfume, flowers strewn Mount Meru, foreland sun and bloom, imagined as a Buddha lenten offered to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land.
Yidam Guru Ranamandala Kamir Tayami. Okay, so again, please stay with your imagination. You're in front of the you're standing in front of the great and glorious Vajrayogini. She's on in this case, a lion throne with lotus and sun. She's trampling on top of Bhairava and Kalarati above. Okay, and then you are Vajrayogini now. You also are on a throne because she's giving you full equal power and ability. So you're on top of a throne, you're on top of a lotus and sun cushion, you're standing on top of Bhairava and Kalarati. Above you is an umbrella, a parasol, and to the right and left side are victory banners and such. And then there are Dakinis dancing around you. Feel that then Vajrayogini and the Guru invoke all the Dakinis of the universe. Pam! From the hum of the heart of the Guru, non-different from the deity, light rays emanate in the syllable Bam and bring the empowering deities and supreme Chakra Samvara Mandala and its supporting deities around you. O all the Tathagata Buddhas, I request you confer a paramit upon this one. Having thus been requested, feel that the guardian Dakinis of the doorways and such scare away any interferences for you to receive the initiation. Vajra heroes proclaim auspicious verses, and the Vajrayogini sing Vajra songs around you. They scatter flower petals upon you. Then feel that above you comes the Dakinis, the four primary mother goddesses. They're holding a beautiful vase of nectar, which they're now going to pour upon you. Feel that then they first sing to a song. Shri Heruka, your body blazing, your laughter shakes the worlds with whom and pay. You confound all of the demonic forces. Chakra-Savara, please give me your blessings. Feel they continue to sing to you. Your mantra body, one with Evam, Kaliyativ, the non-dual play of your speech, the mind which has gone with the nature of Om, Vajravarahi, please grant your blessings upon these ones. Feel when they pour the nectar upon you. Om Feel your whole body thrill. Om Sarva Tathagata Abhisheka Samaya Shri Hom Chakra Vira Sam Abhishara Mam Kakayasha Ukakasha Sivakasha Sukakasha Yamadati Yamaduti Yamadashini Yamakani Vajabera Abhisheka Hom. Okay, then feel all the initiation gods and goddesses around you. They absorb into your body. Ja Hom Bam Ho. Feel that becomes fully stable. You feel very energetic, like all your pores of your skin are just really feeling very good. Om Supratishta Vajra Swaha. Feel that then from the mouth of Vajrayogini that's in front of you comes the mantra garland from her heart on a sun disk, and the syllable bum comes these syllables. They come up out of her mouth. They come into side of your mouth in the color of red flames, and they settle in your heart counterclockwise around the syllable bum that's in your heart. Please repeat after me. Om, om, om.
Om, om, om.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Vajravarniye.
Vajravarniye.
Vajraverochaniye.
Vajraverochaniye.
Hum, hum, hum.
Hum, hum, hum.
Pe, pe, pe.
Pe, pe, pe.
Soha.
Soha.
Om, om, om.
Om, om, om.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Vajravarniye.
Vajravarniye.
Vajraverochaniye.
Vajraverochaniye.
Hum, hum, hum.
Hum, hum, hum.
Pe, pe, pe.
Pe, pe, pe.
Soha.
Soha.
Om, om, om.
Om, om, om.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Vajravarniye.
Vajravarniye.
Vajraverochaniye.
Vajraverochaniye.
Hum, hum, hum.
Hum, hum, hum.
Pe, pe, pe.
Pe, pe, pe.
Soha.
Soha.
Okay, now you should understand that that literally is the cell phone number to all the Vajradhakinis of the universe. Okay, so you've now been given her cell phone number, and that's the best way to think about it because it's formless. But when you recite that mantra, you're going to attract all the divine women of the universe to be conscious of you. This initiation is a huge connection for all of you, especially the men, to be connected to women in a positive, constructive way. That mantra gives you that connection, okay? So then you're going to say this mantra from now until you die every day, okay? But you're going to make a commitment how many times you say it. So you can say it once every day, you can say it 3 times every day, you can say it 7 times every day, you can say it 21 times every day. I would recommend that you say, for example, 3 or 7, or if you want 21. Now, if you do a whole mala of her mantra, that's your choice, but you have a commitment every day. Now, why would you do this? Because Vajrayogini, you've now received your initiation. If you keep your commitment of doing or your 6-session Guru Yoga, which you already do from Yamantaka, you don't have to double it or triple it. You're just doing 6-session Guru Yoga. When you do that, then you can add in Vajrayogini's mantra, which is that 32-syllable mantra. And if you don't have it, we'll make sure you get it by the end of the initiation. But the point is that you recite that mantra every day. So whether it's once, 3 times, 7 times, 21 times, or you do a whole mala. But right now you're going to make a promise to the Guru and to Vajrayogini that I'm going to do this every day. And why? Because when you die, she will meet you on the other side. Because she has a commitment. If someone does my mantra every day, keeps her commitment to me, I will take you to the Dakini Pure Land, where you can then practice and continue with your Dharma practice. So you will then now, you repeat this after me, and when you repeat it, you will say, for example, it says, to recite the 3 Om mantra, and then it says blank times per day. So you would say, in your mind, you would say once, 3, 7 times. Now, if in the past you received a Vajrayogini initiation and you forgot to do it and stuff, you are renewing your commitment with Vajrayogini. So then just start doing it again. Okay? So please repeat after me. I,
John Minot,
say if your name, pledge from now
pledge from now
until reaching the heart of enlightenment
until reaching the heart of enlightenment,
to hold as my deity Vajrayogini
to hold as my deity Vajrayogini
and the Kachari power,
and the Kachari power,
to recite the mantra 3 Om,
to recite the mantra 3 Om,
and say in your mind, say how many times per day.
per day.
I, say your name,
I, John Minot,
pledge from now
pledge from now
until reaching the heart of enlightenment
until reaching the heart of enlightenment,
to hold as my deity
to hold as my deity
the Lady Vajrayogini
the Lady Vajrayogini,
and attain the Kachari city,
and attain the Kachari city,
to recite the 3 Om mantra
to recite the 3 Om mantra
this many times each day.
this many times each day.
I,
John Minot,
from this time until my enlightenment,
from this time until my enlightenment,
to hold as my deity
to hold as my deity
the Lady Vajrayogini
Lady Vajrayogini
in the Kachari city,
in the Kachari city,
to recite the mantra 3 Om
to recite the mantra 3 Om
this many times each day.
this many times each day.
Feel now you've made that commitment. Okay, feel that then that Vajra says, please bless this person, and feel Vajra is giving you the blessings of Vajra speech and mind. Okay, now I'm going to come around with the body mandala of Vajra. I'm going to touch your forehead, throat, and heart with the red cinder powder. You are receiving the body mandala blessing of Vajra. Okay? Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajra so Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajra so Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajra Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini so Sarva Buddha Dakini Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini so Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini so for all of you online, Om Om, feel that you receive this blessing at your forehead, throat, and heart. Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini Shani Om Om Pe so Om Sarva Buddha Dakini Shani Om Om Sarva Buddha Dakini Om Pe so okay. Okay, so now you've received the body initiation of Vajra. You're now going to receive the secret initiation, which is basically the purification of all your chakras. Okay, so you should feel that then all the Tathagatas and Yoginis enter into union by the drops of their bodhicitta fall into the skull cup. So I'm going to come around and give everybody a little bit of the nectar from the skull cup, and you feel that then you meditate, that you feel that it goes into your body, all the chakras and the nerve channels, your throat, your heart, your abdomen, your pelvic floor, your arms, everywhere, all the nerve channels are made perfectly clean and clear so that you can practice the higher tantric practices. Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini so meditate on bliss as when you take this in. Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini. Yeah, so for those of you online, feel that you're receiving the secret initiation. All your chakras are being purified. Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini. Om 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 so Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini. So now you've received the nectar visualization. Okay. So you're now going to receive the wisdom initiation. And in this case, I've got the mind mandala in my hand. I'm going to come around, I'm going to touch your navel, your heart, your throat, and your forehead with the cinder powder from the 4 bliss swirls on the 4 corners, and then from the center. So there's the 5 points: navel, heart, throat, forehead, crown. So those points are going to be touched. Now, and this, you should feel that you are Vajrayogini. Feel that around you are Heruka Vajrayoginis and all the space around you. Feel that they all go into union and they send a great wave of blissful energy that flows into your body. And as it flows into your body, feel that the energy from your pelvic floor starts to come up, and you feel bliss in your abdomen, bliss in your heart, bliss in your throat, bliss at the crown. Okay, so that then you receive those blisses as it comes up. So as I go around, I will touch your navel, heart, throat, and forehead with the color from these 4 directions, 4 bliss swirls. Feel you receive that. Om Sarva Buddha Feel the bliss comes from your navel, your pelvic floor, to your navel, to your heart, to your throat, and to your forehead. Om Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajra Sarva Buddha Dakini So you've now received the mind initiation of Vajrayogini, and online, please focus on from your pelvic floor to your abdomen, to your heart to your throat. Om Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajrayogini. Okay, so Om Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajrayogini. So Om Sarva Buddha Dakini. So, okay, feel that now your body has been purified, your speech has been purified, and your mind has been purified. You have now received the word initiation, the final initiation. Okay, so please repeat after me. All phenomena have no true existence.
All phenomena have no true existence.
Without any stain, like space of sky.
Without any stain, like space of sky.
This Vajra wisdom,
I
I understand completely.
understand completely.
My mind is the creator of my experience.
My mind is the creator of my experience.
Okay, so you can relax a little bit. Okay, so it says, one does not ever establish even the slightest, one does not even have an atom of true existence within one's being. The nature of all phenomena is like the sky, it's open, which is beyond any limitations of existence and non-existence, permanence and impermanence, suffering or the release of suffering. The voidness is never contaminated by dualistic conceptions. It is a pure object. The blissful Vajra wisdom is a non-dual experience, absent of any subjective or objective consciousness. These two are unified, and one remains absorbed in the voidness, producing a blissful state of enlightenment. So what you should feel is that you now have within you this blissful energy of Vajrayogini. You bring that to mind, and that state of consciousness, which is the bliss of the nature of reality, with the understanding of the nature of reality. That is the blessing of the Vajrayogini. So if you think of yourself in the universal ocean of interdependence, this whole universal ocean of interdependence, you are blissful within that. And that bliss means that I understand the nature of reality. And within that, then, of course, I'm in the playground of enlightenment. I'm working for the I and Olsen beings are on the same team, and we're playing the game of enlightenment. Okay? Okay, and then the Vajrayogini says to you, in the mandala of the ultimate truth, which is the initiation of the word, the three doors of purified body, speech, and mind, and you can meditate on the inconceivable path of Mahamudra and obtain the true body, the true nature body of all the Buddhas. Okay, so then please repeat after me. As Vajrayogini has spoken, so I will do. As Vajrayogini has spoken, so I will do. As Vajrayogini has spoken, so I will do. Okay. So you've now received the initiation. Please offer mandala to Vajrayogini to say thank you.
This ground anointed with perfume, flowers strewn round Meru, for land, sun, and moon. Imagine Beza, Buddha had offered to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land.
Okay, just a second. I'm trying to get the lama. We now have to offer soak, so we're going to have a fiesta of Vajrayogini. Just have to find the right prayer. Soak 4 pages only. That's fine. There we go. Oh, damn it, it's wrong. I haven't got the right format for it. Don't load it. Just a second. Let me see. I've got to do something quick, okay? So those of you online, please have patience with me. Okay, so here, soak only in 4 pages. Save. So we're going to do soak, which is like it's a fiesta. Okay. Yoga. Doc X. There we go. Save. Okay, now I'll try to post it in the Zoom link too. Here again we go. Okay. Close that. So here we go. One more time. Now, if I don't get it to be, here we go. Soak 4 pages only. I think this will work this time. Yes, it did. Okay, there you go. So, okay, there. So for those of you online, I just posted in the chat, soak only in 4 pages. So that's what we're going to do, soak. So the idea behind it is that right now we have Vajrayogini in the space before us. We have all the Dakadakinis singing and dancing around us. And we are Vajrayogini. We have this divine connection with all the divine feminine energy of the universe. We have her cell phone number, her mantra. We're going to do this every day. And at the time of our death, then we will be met by Vajrayogini and taken to the Pure Land where we continue to practice. And actually, it's interesting. In the last, excuse me. Recently, I've been watching near-death experiences just for fun on YouTube. And I sort of thought, wow, hey, this really exists. Now, of course, if you're Christian, you're going to be met by Christian entities because it's your belief system. But we're true practitioners in the practice of Heruka. And so if we keep our commitment, when we get to the other side, there'll be Vajrayogini and Heruka waiting for us saying, hey, baby, and they're not wearing, white robes and having wings, they're in thongs and bikinis and they're all dancing and saying that's Heruka practice, okay? So a little bit more lively for us in Buddhism than the Christians, But it's interesting, I have a friend of mine in England, and when he was about 5 or 6 years old, he had a dream, and in the dream suddenly he's sitting on his bed with his grandmother, and he's talking with her and stuff. And at a certain point in his dream, the ceiling of the room completely opens up, and these 2 beautiful white angels come floating down. And then the grandmother says to my friend, he says, "Oh, I guess I have to go now. Goodbye." And so she floated off the bed, and the two angels took her in the left and right side, and she went up into space. And then in the morning, he got up and he went to his mommy and he said, "Hey, Mom, I think Granny died last night." And then sure enough, she had. And so there's that. Then, of course, if you do watch some of these near-death experience videos, they're quite interesting. I mean, again, I really think that the entities on the other side appear in what's comfortable for you. So if you're Christian, it'll be Jesus Christ or angels or Archangel Michael or whatever you want there. We're Buddhists. And so, again, they always appear according to what you need. And so we would be met by Heruka Vajrayogini. But the thing is, it'd be a lot better if we meet, with good energy. So I'll give you the best example. Now, first off, I have a student in Canada, and she said one morning she did the Vajrayogini, and so one at 3 a.m. she wakes up and she says, "Oh my God, I haven't done my Vajrayogini mantra." And the feeling she said she had was similar to that if she'd had sex but had forgotten to take her birth control pill. She said it hit her that hard, like, wow, this, like that. So that's a good example of this, how deeply you should take doing your Vajrayogini mantra every day. So that's on one side, is that try to do it. Now, if you make a mistake, then just say, "Please forgive me, Vajrayogini," and such. Now, the other side of it is this, and I'm a Vajra guru. I've got the proper commitments, I've got the proper retreats, I've done the 400,000 mantra retreat of Vajrayogini, all of that, and I'll help you all as individuals. But think of it this way, that if you come to me, and you come and let's say physically you come in and say, "Oh, Jampa, I forgot to do my practice, I didn't keep my commitment." Okay, now let's just say I had some incredible ability to give you something. And there you are in front of me and you just shut the door. I can't do it because it's not because, I don't have the ability. It's because you shut the door because you think I'm bad, I didn't keep my commitment, So there's no way that any blessing can come to you. Whereas if you have a good commitment, you come in front of your guru and you say, "Hey, I kept my commitment. I feel really good about myself. I was a good boy or girl." Not that it's that simplistic. But the point is that that's sort of what you want to have, is that at the end of your life, you do it. So I've done this practice for close to 50 years. I got it from Trijang Rinpoche back in 1973. And then I got it from Ludenken Rinpoche of the Sakya lineage of the Nor Monastery back in 1998, I think, like that. In all those 50 years, 5 times I didn't do it. I got sick, I just couldn't do it or something. I can say 5 times in 50 years I didn't do the mantra for one day, okay? But then I've done purification and I've been really dedicated. I don't want to arrive at the other side and then I can't connect to Vajrayogini because I've got some stupid problem in my head that I didn't keep my commitment. I'm a bodhisattva. I'm a tantric bodhisattva. I've kept my commitments. I've done a good job. I've tried to be beneficial in the world. That's the connection to Vajrayogini. That's what's going to help her sort of, meet us on the other side and take us to the Pure Land where we can continue to practice. And when you're there, you can stay there for however long you want to sort of gain teachings and stuff. She's waiting for you up there. That's sort of exciting, isn't it? Okay. And if you wanted to take a rebirth, in a Buddhist point of view, you can be in a Pure Land practice for however many centuries you want. And if you decide then you'd like to come back and challenge yourself a little bit, you can take a regular rebirth again and see how well you've got a continuity of your Dharma practice. Okay, so you have those options. I mean, I even have a Tibetan Tukul once, an incarnate Lama that I talked with, and he said, I died and then I didn't take a rebirth for about 5 years. I wonder where I went. I guess he went to the Pure Land for 5 years and then he decided to come back and join us. Anyway, the point is that this is a really special practice. It's a practice of bliss and happiness. And so even if you're having a really bad day, at least Vajrayogini is inside of your heart dancing and saying, "Hey, come on, wake up, get your act together, give you a bit of a kick or spunk or something like that, and things." And if nothing else, if it's going to be finally the end of your life, then, she will be waiting on the other side for you, along with Heruka and all of that. So there are, on my YouTube channel, Jampa Shanuman, there are all of the teachings of Vajrayogini that you can watch. So there is some commentary. So it's not like I always feel sad that some big Lama comes through, gives initiation, and then leaves and goes to the next city. That's not how, you don't need that anymore. I mean, there is full commentary of Vajra Yogini that's available, for example, on my YouTube site. There's the books available that you can study. Put yourself into it for 4 or 5 years so you get a really good sense about it. Remember, Yamantaka is a good preliminary because it gives you a solid grounding. Then you shift over to the Heruka practices. The example I like is sort of, Yamantaka is like a big military tank. He doesn't get bugged by much. He is really powerful. When you shift over to Heruka Vajra Yogini, it's like you got a Ferrari or a Maserati. You got a really sexy little car, and you can zoom all over you want. That's sort of the difference between Heruka and Yamantaka. They're both parts of becoming enlightened, but they are things. So anyway, on that note, then we will do soak offering. And I'm sorry, I don't have my. In Mexico, we do it in English all the time. And of course, then they have beautiful voices and they all chant really well, and I have a really hard time, but I will try to chant it as best as I can. Here we go. There, okay. So, you guys don't have it here, do you? Okay, I will do it. You guys just listen. Feel that you are surrounded by dakinis and everybody is very happy and dancing. You're dancing, you're feeling really flirty and spunky and lively. Okay. Om Hom, Om Hom, Om Hom. Pure clouds of outer, inner, and secret offerings, objects of divine space, salvation, space, race, the region, space, system, sky, spreading out beyond the range of thought. In essence, they are pristine awareness and aspect inner offerings and various objects of offering, the functions of emanated bliss, emanated bliss, Yamaho within the grand play of the pristine awareness. All places are Vajra fields, structures Vajra palaces, oceans of clouds billow forth Samantha Vajra offerings. All objects are imbued with the glories of all wishes. All beings are actual, great Viras and Virinis. Without even words impure, all is infinitely pure. Whom from a state of Dharmakaya, stilled of mental conception, upon a turbulent wind and a powerful blazing fire, resting on the crown of a tripod of 3 human heads, I in a human skull cup, Om the ingredients appear. Above them are Om, sparkling with brilliant color. The wind blows, the fire flares, and the ingredients melt. From these boiling substances, copious vapors tumble forth. Then from the 3 syllables, light in profusion radiates out in the 10 directions, drawing forth the 3 Vajras with nectar, which then dissolves into the 3 syllables. Purifying, they blend with the nectar and blend with the ingredients. Purifying, transforming, and increasing Yamaho. Thus an ocean of splendor, of all that could be wished for. Om Hom, Om Hom, Om Hom. So for those of you online, if you have the nada and bala, that's the meat and the alcohol, sacred meat and alcohol, and you have some cookies and cakes, that's good. Here we have our nada and bala and our cookies and cakes and stuff like that. But we're now going to invoke all of the gurus of the lineage. O host of root and lineage gurus, Yidam's assemblies of deities, the 3 supreme jewels of refuge, Viras, Dakinis, Dharmapalas. I request you by your compassion, come forth to this place of offering. Place your radiant feet firmly upon this elegant throne formed of jewels. Amidst a vast ocean of clouds of outer, inner, and secret offerings, grant us striving for realizations, powerful attainments we wish for. O'er this ocean of offerings, so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of root and lineage gurus. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for, for this ocean of offerings, so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of Yidams, with your entourage. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for, Emaho, o'er this ocean of offerings, so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of precious jewels of refuge. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for, o'er this ocean of offerings, so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of Dakinis and Dharmapalas. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for, Emaho. O'er this ocean of offerings, so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of beings who were once our mothers. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for, Emaho. Okay, so now one of you has to stand up with the meat and the Nadambala. Who wants to do that, please? Terry. She's our Dakini for the day.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay, so you just stand, and you should feel in front of you is the Dalai Lama and all the gurus, including your Nyingma Khargyu, Galupa, Sakyapa gurus and stuff, and of course Vajra, Haruka, they're all in front of us. And you just stand there, okay, and for those of you who know the prayer. Emaho, here is a great circle of soul. O you who have followed in the footsteps of all the Buddhas of the three times, realizing that you are the source of all powerful attainments, O great teacher, you who have freed yourself from all superstitions, we invite you continually to enjoy this circle of soul. Alala ho. Om I visualize myself as a guru yidam, with a nature inseparable from the three Vajras. I, this nectar of uncontaminated, pristine awareness, whom without moving from the state of bodhicitta, I play with to satisfy the deities within my form. Aho Mahasukha. Oh my God, that's wonderful. That's what you should understand. Okay, so we can go around and share that with everybody. For those of you online, I'm going to open it up. If somebody wants to hand out cookies and things to everybody. We don't have any plates or anything, but if you just hand everybody at least one cookie. And please enjoy, relax. Hello, everybody online. There's Simon's having a beer. That's nice. Or maybe he's having Coca-Cola. Okay, and Christopher. And there's from France. Yeves comes his wife, Patricia. Oh, there, he's just waving. That's good. And Elvis from Germany. And Dojerman from, I forget, Lithuania or something like that. And the Ryan Ong, I think you're in California. Wrench and Choden, I don't know where you are, but that's nice to see you. Jake Joyce, I think you're in Europe, Jake, or maybe you're in America. Ning Chu, Ning Chu's in Singapore. And Senge Yeshi, there we go. So there's a total of 12 of us online. Okay, so anyway, I don't sing very well. Hi, Senge Yeshi, and a partner of yours, good. Okay. We should have don't eat all your cookie, just you have to leave a little bit for the offering to the local spirits, please. Can I have
Anybody need another one?
Yeah, everybody needs another cookie. Don't eat all your cookie, okay? We have to do a little bit for local spirits. For those of you online, hopefully you know how to do soak.
Another cookie? No.
I'm good.
Okay, I need one, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much.
We'll give them to people.
There you are, online. Hello, there's a ginger snap. Everybody got a little bit of the Nadambala? It's sort of interesting. In Christianity, of course, it's the blood and the skin of the meat of Buddha or of Jesus, and that's their context is actually quite good. I mean, you bring him into your life. In Buddhism, and maybe this came from their practice came from Buddhism because we're 500 years earlier, and this already existed in Hinduism. But the nada and bala are proteins. Alcohol is a very high protein, and meat is a high protein. And so in Tantra, it comes back to why do you have those two? Because you make your body stronger. Now, obviously, you can't drink too much or eat too much. It's not good for you. But having a little bit of meat and alcohol, it gives your body protein. It makes you stronger. Now, can someone go around and collect the offering from the back of the room, finally and end up with me? Okay, so if you've got an offering, if you've got soap, please take a bite of whatever piece of soap you had and then put it in a dish. You're going to offer that for the local spirits. Just send it. Excuse me. Okay, so
It's triple T.
so oh, well. Okay, then over here. Oh, can you put a little bit of the meat and alcohol with that, please? Just pour the meat and alcohol into them. Okay, that's fine. Just mix it all up. The whole thing, the whole 100%. All of it, just all of it, and then all of the meat. Okay, and then just leave that there. Okay, so it's now you have a bit of what you've been eating from the soak. You put that in a dish. You put a little bit of the meat and the alcohol in the dish. And this is offering for all of the local spirits which don't have initiation, but you want to make them happy. Okay. And okay, we're just going to do the blessing to the local spirits. We're not going to do the ah la la. Just give you an idea though. The soak offering in the Tibetan is a lot more tuneful. Someone once said the soak offering in English is sort of like a dirge, like, and things, whereas in the Tibetan it's on de shash. Oh no, I'm sorry. So okay. Okay, I can't remember my Tibetan anyway. Okay. Oh, this ocean of, okay, I can't remember the Tibetan for that, I'm sorry. It's been too many years, I haven't done it in Tibetan, but with the song to move the Dakini's heart, it's beautiful in the Tibetan, and actually in English it's not bad, but it's Om Dejen Shapa Tam She Tam Pao Tani Nao Jorma Kadro Tani Kadroma. It's beautiful, but we're going to skip it because I'm tired and I can't, my voice is gone. So we're going to do to whom impure receptive appearances become purified in the sphere of voidness. This is local spirits offering. I think it's on page 3. Purified in the sphere of voidness. This magnificent nectar creator of pristine awareness, whom becomes a vast ocean of all desired things. Oma home, Oma home, Oma home. Oh, this ocean of remaining soak of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of both bound realm protectors. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for. Now at this point you ring your bell and you say to all the local entities and spirits that might exist, hey, please make this place nice, make the Dharma flourish, make everything good. Ho, by offering to the ocean remaining soak to the guests who are left together with their entourage. May the precious teachings proliferate before the teachings of application together with the entourage, especially the yogis and the freedom by the sickness, may all my dreams and wisdom and wealth and all the daily practice. Okay, now why do you ring your bell? Because you want to attract the attention of any entities or spirits or local spirits or whatever to say, hey, please listen to me, and this is the prayer I have. Please make the world a wonderful place, make the Dharma flourish, make everything go well, things like that. Okay, so that concludes the offering of soak. So now you have the initiation of Vajra. It's in the Gelupa lineage. I don't have permission to do the Sakyepa transmission, but I gave you the Gelupa version of this. This comes from Tricham Rinpoche, who I received it from on numerous occasions, both publicly and privately, and such. So fine. I also received it from Luden Ken Rinpoche, or no, the Dalai Lama of Mongolia. Anyway, Kalkajes and Dampa. Okay, so I've received it from him in a full transmission, and for both of them, I was the translator, so it's quite fortunate. So that concludes the full Vajrayogini transmission. Please do your 6-session Guru Yoga. That is a commitment, and whether you do it once in the morning or once in the evening or just once, whatever, it's a commitment every day. And because now you have Vajrayogini, you have to do that mantra every day, 1, 3, 5, 7 times, or maybe you do it for a whole mala. And if you keep your commitment, good. If you break it, you don't have to come crying to me. Just the next day, say, I don't want to do that again, and try very hard to maintain your commitment. And the thing, like I say, the last thing you want is at the end of your life, if you get into the bardo and then Vajrayogini appears before you, and you're feeling sheepish, like saying, I didn't keep my commitment, I'm so sorry. I mean, that'd suck, I mean, and it's not that she has an incapacity to help you. You put an incapacity in yourself. You shut the door down. It's the same thing when someone comes to me, and if they're a student and they're doing tantric practice and they come and say, oh, John, I broke my commitment. They say if there's a channel of blessing that can come through, it just got blocked by that person's attitude. Whereas if they come with happiness and joy and enthusiasm, then like the channel's wide open, there's lots of blessings that can transfer. And this applies to all your gurus, not just to me. It applies to all the Gelapunding Masakiba gurus that you have. If you have good commitment, you have a nice aura around you. And that all good gurus can perceive that. You've got good practice. I'm in Nepal, thank you very much. Okay, so mention children, very good. Thank you much. Okay, so that's it, guys. So I'm going to do dedication prayers and such. So for the effort of practicing both Yamantaka last night and the Vajragini tonight, for all of what we did, for all of the good feelings we generated, we dedicate it to a more enlightened life. And we make that as an offering for the benefit of all sentient beings. Gewati Nirduda Lama Sangye Drukerne Drowa Jekim Aluba Gigi Salad Warsho Chanchu Senja Rimboche Magi Vanern Gigirshi Gewa Nimba Neba Young Konne Kondu Bewarsho Gewa Kundo Yona Damada Drami Chogi Palo Lonujig Sadan Langi Onamazane Dorji Jungi Goba Nirdan Cho. Okay, so thank you very much for those of you online. Big hugs. Congratulations, you have pure commitment from good lineage. So hope you enjoy. For all the ones here, thank you very much, you guys. Okay, so that's pretty much it.
Thank you, John.
May you, if you're going to go to sleep tonight, may you have sweet and wonderful dreams. So that concludes the whole of the practice. Thank you.